Hey, welcome to another episode of The Big Picture with me, Gary Otto, and Dr. Uwe Boll.
Yeah,
How have you been, my friend?
no, I have to ask you, are you Tarzan?
Am
Tarzan.
I?
Yeah, are you in the jungle camp? Where are you?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm in the jungles of America watching and waiting as people go to their doom behind me in the water slides. I'm here at Universal Volcano Bay. So, guys, we have a live taping here from Universal Volcano Bay as we discuss world politics, world media events, and so forth. And what I'd like to know, first
But
off the bat, my friend,
before we go into it, like, do you do all the rides, or are there some rides you pussy out, basically? Yeah,
here,
yeah,
here, fuck no. Here, I come here for the fucking lazy river. Like, wait a second. I want to show you something. I'm going to
yeah.
show you something. Look at this. So, look at this. Okay. Check this out. Let me see if it'll let me flip. If it won't, I'll just, oh, yes, it will. Okay. So look
Yeah,
at this. This is the
perfect.
fuck. This is the more turbulent lazy river. It goes up pretty high. I think it starts pretty low, but you can see it's kind of like a rapids ride. I won't go on that. Um, and there's a lot of water slides here that I won't go on. Like there's a giant volcano that you can go to the top of the volcano and it'll shoot you straight the fuck down. And it's like you can't breathe. And it's like a real volcano. That thing's fucking like a million feet. So I will not go on that. There's just a lot of thrill rides. They have a roller coaster in the water here. So I'll go for the lazy river. That's about it.
We go always to Rolantica, that's in Germany, and there are some things also like the drop, where I'm also not going on. I did the drop years ago, and it's enough said. You get hammered with the water. You really have to close your nose, or you get like up your brain. And then I was in Spain one time. There was also maybe similar to the same volcano. It's like a slide, but it's almost when you watch it, you think you could fall off the slide and die, basically. It's so steep it is, right? And then you hammer into the water and will destroy your balls.
Yeah,
Uh,
no. Some of these water rides, like they look like little UFOs, and you kind of slide towards the edge as if you're going to fall out. And if you look really carefully, if you did fall out, you would fall out right into the fucking highway. You know what you know what I mean? So like that's fucking scary. I'm not going to risk that shit. Imagine one day that shit falls. No, thank you. I'm not going to be that guy.
and do they have the half pipe too? Like where you are with four people or whatever in the thing, and it goes the half pipe almost up. You think you fall, but then it keeps going.
Yep, they have all sorts of crazy stuff here. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know how to swim. That's the thing. I can doggy paddle kind of, but because I grew up in New York City, I grew up in Manhattan. The only pool was like this pool on the top of this one building. And as a child, I had this memory of this one woman who took off her bra, took out her titties because she didn't know in America they don't do that. And I was like 7 years old, and I was like, "Whoa!" But yeah, that's my. That has that. Sorry.
But I like water parks, but I agree. Like for me, when I go and I slide with my kids and whatever, then I'm super happy to go. You get this kind of wheel and you go on the lazy river, right? So you just like, and the good thing in Rulantica is they let you do various rounds. They don't stop you, so you can just sit on it, and there are like animation movies running around and whatever, and you can for 20 minutes totally, like, it maybe takes 10 minutes to do a round, but you can just do 3 rounds and you're like a half an hour, like you can relax. What I like,
Well,
in
from what
between.
I understand, isn't Rulantica like a huge? That's like Germany's. That's like a big theme park, right?
Biggest in Europe. It's attached to the Europa Park, whereas the other rides, and then you have the Water World separate, right? Separate entrances, separate fee you have to pay. But I like Rolantica more, because I'm also not the biggest roller coaster guy anymore. When I was younger, was no problem, but now to do loopings and whatever in this kind of crazy rides, it's I don't react to it anymore as I was young, right? It's more like this kind of, you feel dizzy, and you feel also like I have a titanium disc in my neck, right? So you feel like you don't want to be too much shaking around like crazy. So,
Well,
but I
well,
did a lot of this when I was younger. Yeah.
that's what makes the difference between a good coaster and a bad coaster. Like a smooth coaster, if you have neck pain, you know what I mean? That's a bad coaster. Like there's a lot of wooden coasters where they're like, cha 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 cha. You know what I mean? And
Right.
there's some of them that really hurt. And then there's some ones that are made that are like they have a Guardians of the Galaxy one here that's super smooth. They have a Snow White one here that's super smooth. The Tron roller coaster here, all the Disney and shit like that, all that stuff is super, super smooth that you could probably go on it and have no problem with your neck. But I'd say stay away from any Universal stuff like here.
Yeah, it's harder than they make it a little faster, and like the Magic Mountain stuff, right in LA. So,
Because what it is with Disney, they have to make it for kids too. And if the kids are freaking the fuck out, they're not having fun. So it has to be smooth. It has to not be too crazy, you know?
yeah. So now I have to give shit to Joe Biden first up, because you saw it maybe that he has construction companies taking parts of the border wall away. It's true. And it's that, I think, is actually an insane move, because that move has only one sense, one purpose, is to damage Trump, to damage whatever he wants to do about migration. I mean, to be honest, like we all know, the border wall is not really stopping illegal migration, as we saw the last 3.5 years. And the border wall is not complete, it's not all over the place. But to go now there, he is not reelected, he's gone. And to bring construction, spend that money to transport border wall away, I think that's the biggest shit I ever read, to be honest. That's not okay. It's okay that he maybe like pardons a lot of people and pardons his son. I can live with this. But this is a direct, aggressive act to show Trump fuck off. And I think that's wrong. That's the wrong step.
Well, you know what? I've been reading a lot of stuff about Biden cementing his legacy. And I think that if what you're describing is true, it is a waste of funds. That's true. Because just why the fuck would you waste money taking it apart when they're probably just going to put it the fuck right back? You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, so I think it's dumb. He's trying to make a statement. And I think it's wasteful. I have to admit, I agree with you.
Yeah, because look, what should Trump do, right? He has no other choice as to bring it back and put it back on. So now we're talking about another few $1,000,000 in the very end, senselessly wasted. You know, for that money, you could feed kids. You could do something with it. Instead, like merciless, he puts it through. And it's like, I had a discussion today in Germany about like my next film I want to do with a young Muslim, and he's an actor
Oh,
cast to be in the film, and he like to me like no, like why you show like, because I show a group of migrants raping a girl in the film, right? So, but it's only one part of the film, and I asked him to be one of the guys, and he like no, because it's whatever, it's not, we don't want to be portrayed as this. And I said, yeah, but I give you one advice. The advice from me is that moderate Muslims and Muslims who live in our society, and he speaks perfectly German, he's born in Germany, you need to go in distance to the bad Islamistic people who come in and stab people in the inner city. You as, like, not you personally as a guy, but you as the Muslim society need to uh, get distance between these people. And if you defend them, or you say you don't want that cases like this getting publicity or getting like in the public, then you guys make a big mistake. A big mistake. That's not okay. You know, and I sent him the criminal statistics of Germany, where you can say that every single gang rape, where 5, 6, 7 people rape a girl in Germany, they were all Muslims, sorry, but all of them, right? So it's like you find German rapists 100%, but you don't find that specific thing where 16, 17, 18 years old boys grab a girl in the bushes and rape her. That happens hundreds of times in Germany, hundreds of times every year. And that's a thing. And I said, look, so you tell me I cannot make a movie about that. You tell me I should censor myself and show only the good migrants. Like, I said, sorry, but that will not happen. But I wanted to talk with him about it because he said that it's the scene is racist. And I said, no, that's not racist. Racist is, or not even racist, but a criminal act is what they do. So that's the thing. And I think that what you said was with Trump with the border wall or whatever with Biden, I think it's a symbol now that the both sides are not coming together anymore, right? So where you have the feeling like, okay, that is common sense, there we can all agree on. And this is thing we discuss and we have maybe different opinions. But now the one side criminalize the other side. You know, the incoming side now of Elon Musk and co say basically that whole government are gangsters. They fill their coffins with money, and they need to go, right? And then you have the other side who says whoever is like this other side, they are all basically mini Nazis who want to oppress the people and take everything for themselves, blah blah blah. And I think that's a big mistake. I think we need to get now like really case by case and piece by piece, and like the thing is a decision in regards of environmental politics is not necessarily the right decision if it's left or right. It has to be a decision about environment.
Exactly. No. Being married to your party politics is
Yeah.
what's wrong, and people need to think clearly at the facts. Like, I don't disagree with every single thing that Trump or the Republicans want to do. I honestly think that some of it I'm willing to take a look and see. I'm willing to have a wait and see approach. I was thinking about this a lot when we were not, when you were doing scouting or whatever you were doing. You were busy,
Yeah.
and there's not every single thing is bad. The problems that I have are like, it's like, first of all, the people who donated to him are the people who he's electing into the positions of power. Could that be a conflict of, their power over us? Like, in the problem with the first Trump administration was they enriched themselves somewhat at our expense, and we really only felt the positive effects as like a trickle down effect. The big business felt a lot of the positive things, and now he's really aligning himself with big business and all these different facets. I don't agree with that. Even a Rampage goes against that corporate strategy. Yeah, that's a part of America. That's a part of the system. It's a necessary evil. But I don't know if I want it in our government. It's like he's trying to, like I say, he's trying to. We're going towards this eventual shift. I fear that all the public services like welfare, insurance, all that shit will be privatized, and that's what putting big business people in those positions of power will ultimately do. I feel that the woman who he put in for Department of Education previously, I forgot her name. She did a lot of damage trying to shift a lot of stuff towards private schools. So a lot of the things I have problems with are uniquely American problems, and the things that make it attractive for you are very globalized issues. So like I'm also afraid of the lack of transparency, the trying to censor the media. Like my mother, she was a journalist. I grew up in the newsroom. You know what I mean? I have a lot of empathy for people who want to genuinely bring out good quality news, not everybody's so used to the fluff, fluff, fluff. They think that that's all that's out there. It's not true. I mean, look at my attempt at this show. It's like my attempt at trying to have true journalistic integrity, which is something that it's true. It's horribly lacking in a corporatized journalistic society. But would you want that corporatized idealism to grow? Not just into our government, but to pervade our media. So we never really know what's true because all the media is too afraid to print what's true because they think they're going to be sued or silenced or their FCC licenses will be taken away. That's the shit that I think is wrong. And the stuff about firing government employees who aren't yes men, a government job was supposed to be like a very stable job for a long time. That was what it was known for. Throwing these people out on their ass is so sick and so sad for their families, for people who have stability. Where are they going to get another fucking job? And like, that's another thing. Like I said, putting people who aren't necessarily as qualified in as their place. It's like, is that the answer? I think that they're both extremes, the left and the right. The left fucked up because they came off as preachy. You're 100% right. But like where we are now is the exact opposite direction. There's no middle ground. And we haven't seen the results yet. We're all fearing the worst. I fear the worst. I'm taking a wait and see approach because you know what? I can't push against the tide forever. I can't hold the weight of the fucking world on my back forever. It worries me. It makes me stress the fuck out. And I'm just, you know what I mean? I want to go into 2025 hoping that that the Republicans, even if I hate Trump, I want the fucking Republicans to take care of us. I don't want them to fucking fuck us. I don't want the people to suffer. I'm so sick of the switcheroo. There's a lot of shit I see. Like Trump's now saying it's going to be hard to bring food prices down when that was one of his promised points on the campaign trail. And the fucking, I heard the agriculture shit. He's fucking over all the people that he said, oh, I'll do good for you with the agriculture farmers. Like, is he good on his word? And that was the number one thing I said before he even got elected. It was like, he's a liar. So I hope the fucking Republicans will have good sense to not give him total fucking control as the dictatorship that he wants, because he's a fool. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And if you give him our president,
maybe people had to tell him, if you do 20% tariffs on basically Latin America, food prices will go up. I mean, it is 100%, right? I mean, look at where the meat comes from, look at where the fruit comes from, veggies, whatever, a lot coming from Mexico and so on. So it's like you would enjoy, like in Europe, for example, fruit mostly comes from Spain and gets imported into France, Germany, Holland, whatever. So, and I think that when he goes into problems, he sees the center of the problem, but he doesn't see the little nuances of the problem, and that some actions he will take will damage something else. And that we will see. But as you said, and I think it's the right approach, you cannot judge the Biden government for now, and you cannot judge the new Trump government that takes a year to really say, okay, guys, it's working or it's not working. And I don't know what will work, what will not work. Do we know what the Ukraine-Russia situation will be? We all we don't really know before he is in power and tries to finish it, tries to solve it, tries to do whatever it is. I have no clue. It's like, I'm not like expecting miracles, but what I expect is that he maybe focuses on a few main problems first. And that will be, let's face it, illegal migration and the Ukraine war, like for the big points. And I think inside the US, they will do a lot of things. They will maybe damage the people. I read a huge article about the Milei guy in Argentina, and we talked about him, right? That he
I saw your post about it, that he finally brought it down, right?
Yeah, so that's the thing. He brought the inflation way down. And I think that was the most important thing if you have 280% inflation, any other politic doesn't matter, because, I mean, if you have 20 times, the milk price goes 20 times up per year, you don't have to discuss about anything else anymore, because you obviously go down the drain. And but what happened also is that more people in Argentina right now are poor. They fell in poverty. So what happened is, because he omitted social, like welfare, all this stuff, he wants that everybody works, and people go now to miserable times, or a lot of people, 50% of the population is very poor now in Argentina, for maybe 35%, now 50%. So his position is this: we have to go through the shit to make it better. Wait 2 years, you will all have jobs, everything is good. But there I'm in a little with you, as the country in total, poor people have not 2 years. Like, I mean, that's the thing. So you cannot omit the key elements of society, right? You cannot say, okay, you don't get any social welfare, now you don't have a job, but don't wait 2 years and everything is great, because in that 2 years, you're dead or a gangster. You know, so that's the problem. And that's
The streets
Trump,
are fucking hard, you know? The streets are hard. That's all I'm saying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So
The
that the
poor,
thing,
they have nothing else. You know what I mean?
yes, and the thing is like, uh, if you have a huge country like the US and a rich country like the US, you're not so fucked as you are maybe in Argentina. But the reality is, I agree with you. Like, if you privatize everything, a lot of things getting more unsafe, getting more greedy, and then everything suffers, right? When, for example, RFK Jr. wants that school kids getting good, healthy food, then you cannot cut the financing of schools. It's the opposite. Then you have to spend more money for good food for the schools, for example. And the schools will not do it. The schools will not do it. You have to subsidize this, right? So as one point where you say the health minister, healthcare, they want to that you are healthier. So you're not getting chips for lunch. You get like fresh lentil soup, whatever. I don't know. But the reality is they will run into a lot of resistance. They will run into a lot of problems. But I give them the credit that to omit a lot of bureaucracy, I think is a good stuff. It's good, but it cannot mean you omit the bureaucracy and the people who work for the government together with the what the government is doing for people, healthcare, whatever, right? You cannot omit that also. You can reduce the minister of health, you can reduce the staff, but you cannot reduce what you do for the people in regard of healthcare, for example.
Well, you know what? But the problem is that when you reduce bureaucracy and you give it into someone's one hands, what happens when the next person is elected who might possibly not be so kind or have such a moral compass? You know, maybe I think that Milai had a happy accident. He got very lucky. And I think that it could be possible in that structure if he died that somebody else would come and take his place and do damage to more damage. You know what I mean? Become like Assad, for example. We can shift over to that. Remember what's going on? Assad is now in Russia. Isn't
Yes.
that exciting? Supposedly, they say that he will not live a lavish lifestyle and he will live in obscurity as just a commoner. Now, is it okay if I shift over into Assad?
No, totally. But I think Assad has a lot of money offshore, right? He's a typical dictator who had a lot of money parked maybe in Switzerland bank accounts, and so he's not poor now or something.
Well, Russia definitely had his ass during the first uprising. They helped him keep power the first time they tried to take him down. But let's go even further back really quick. His dad was a dictator. He was a brutal dictator who tortured his people for the sake of like national security and trying to quell dissent. And I think that Assad, when he finally came into power, he was originally what, a dentist? He went to school in the East.
Yes.
He was he was an average dude. And then he was brought into this. Everybody was surprised that he got the nomination. They thought it was going to go to his brother. And then he married some woman who was like born from Britain. And she was like a surgeon. I can't remember. She was something like that. But
no, but they were very westernized, sophisticated, good dressed.
Yes.
It looked like European style. Moved into Syria, and he will definitely not keep going what his father was doing. That is what
they kind of made it. They even had like a PR campaigns of them watching Western movies in front of living room TVs, trying to make them just look just average, like your average Joes. They're very kind and warm. When in reality, he really was keeping up his father's apparatus of like, if they even suspect, like there's eyes everywhere, you tell on your neighbors, they'll bring you in and have you give names, or else they'll like torture you, put battery acid on your head, all sorts of shit, rape you, have you being eaten by rats and all sorts of crazy shit I read. And this was all in the hush hush for a long time. Like a lot of people were killed. How many? Do you know?
No, but thousands of people disappeared in torture chambers, similar to the KGB, similar to Saddam Hussein, similar to Gaddafi. All that dictators, especially in the Middle East, do this. The only problem now is this, right? The people who came in, like in Germany, everyone was celebrating. We have so many refugees from Syria. We're celebrating in the streets. Yeah, we're free. But then now, I mean, look, the guy who took over. It's al-Nusri guy, ex-Al Qaeda, whatever, Islamic State. So now the question is, right now they're appearing nice, right? But because they want support, money, and whatever, right? So it's like, we are new here and we may be willing to take the refugees back, but you need to pay us, you need to support us. So that's basically what's happening on the political landscape. And
But
I
the United States has them designated as terrorists.
Yeah, but they
Technically.
bombed with him. The United States bombed actively them into power, right? So they had the air
Oh yeah. Oh
bomb.
no, yeah. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. I
Yeah,
get it.
yes. And because Syria was supported by Iran and Russia, so they were against Assad. And the thing is, did Assad deserve to die and whatever? Absolutely. But the other guys who coming in are maybe even worse. That's the other problem, you know, because you had at Assad at least no terrorist cells. There were no terrorists going into Europe or US and bombing something. He was just trying to stay in power and killed everybody who was there. And that was the reason why we had so many refugees after that first revolution attempt. And so now what I suspect is that after the party is over, we will see that a lot of the Syrian refugees will not go home from here. Instead, we will see more Syrian refugees, but this time people from the Assad side. You know that they can, the people they're getting
Oh
like,
no.
yeah, but then
No.
I assume that will happen because look, they will find out who was Assad's supporters, who was in the army from Assad, who was in the police from Assad, right? These people are not safe anymore. So they may be running out, but getting civil dressed on and say, we have to get refugee status in Europe. And
So this is why the United States is rushing to stabilize Syria, is because if not, all those fucking people are gonna have to go everywhere else.
yes,
And that would fucking suck because
yes,
those people have been traumatized and they're gonna bring all that trauma to wherever they go. And that's the problem. It's like you say, like the rapes, all that shit is that, yeah,
yeah.
idealistically, in a perfect world with lots of therapy and lots of the years of time, maybe they would be better. But in reality, they are fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
And
damaged. And that's the thing. It's like if they don't think it's really like a crime to rape somebody because they're coming out of cultures where the man is everything, right? And when they're coming now into Hamburg or whatever, and you have a girl with a mini skirt running around, you know, and
stuff they've never seen, they're like, holy shit.
yes,
Yeah.
they think she's ready to go, basically, right? And then they think, okay, it's dark, nobody's here. Let's make a move. So that's the thing. It's also the fact, of course, that a lot of only male refugees coming, so that you have like what they want to do. They want to fuck, right? But there are no more Syrian girls because they all stayed in Syria. So now they have no choice. Then they getting rejected by the girls, and then they're getting violent. So there are reasons for everything. You can explain everything, but the main point, and that is what I tried also in the phone call today with the Muslim guy, is to say why we as Germany should hire our risk, our security risk, to help all of them. Why? Why we are now alert on Christmas markets? You know, all Christmas markets in Europe, since the French thing in Strasbourg and whatever, or in Solingen in Germany, they have now this metal things. You cannot drive into it, right? So you have to basically, so that no car can do an amok drive into a Christmas market. And
Yeah.
of course, they have tons of security who are racial profiling and do pocket searches, right? So because if you have a 20 years old guy who looks like Osama bin Laden, you will basically, they search him if he has a knife or something. So, and all of this would be not necessary if they would be not here, right? So that's the problem. The problem is that I think they have to accept that there are reasons or why some German political party or person say, look, we have nothing against them. They should live where they're coming from, but not here. And we don't want like to die based on an accident that 1 out of 1,000 runs amok. It's one too many. So sorry, you're not all the 1,000 are not coming in. You know.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I think society needs to be safe proof, because like what you say about those spheres that don't allow people to like drive their cars into like the market,
Yeah.
those big things, those pillars, they had to install those in Las Vegas because there were crazy people. I don't know if you remember, like a bunch of people died a couple times. A guy took his car and like drove up on the sidewalk and just started mowing people down, and they had to install these pillars so that couldn't happen. That's fucking crazy. So it sucks that society is so unwell right now that this is even needed. You know, but it is needed, and I think we need to up our infrastructure and be prepared for all of these unforeseen events, like these migrants. Before you bring them in, think of all the possible things that could happen and be prepared for them. Germany, and even here, I don't feel like we were prepared. I don't feel like that was done. Like
we're all hoping for that this thing, especially not in the with Kamala Harris in charge, right? They hoped for the best. Let's say it this way, but it was not really like the identification was not like, could that guy be from a gang in Venezuela or not? That was never done. It was more or less they drove over and whatever, and then we hope for the best. But that's the thing. And I think everything has to be in moderation. You know, you can live with 50,000 people coming in, but you can maybe not live with 5 million people coming. You know, like it's just like this kind of where that you can socialize them, that you can school them, that you know, like they're learning a language, you integrate them in the workforce, stuff like this.
Socialize. That's a good one. That's number one, is they have to understand the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they also have to like respect the culture, right? If you have the feeling a year in, like that guy or whatever is just not respecting the culture and has nothing else to do as to pray on public squares and say all non-believers must die, then it's time for him to go. Not like, okay, we keep trying till he runs amok. So that's the thing. But
you mean like those people who were like chanting in the street or whatever that you posted?
Yes. You know, where you feel like, okay, you know what? Like
they're trying to be intimidated.
To be honest, now when Assad got like gone, it started as a celebration of Syrian people in the streets. And the photo I sent to you was Walter photographing it out of our car in the streets here. And there is nothing against it. They're very excited about that asshole is gone. But then the days following, there were more and more bigger demonstrations from bigger Syrian groups in the Christmas markets. And they were running around in the Christmas markets, like hundreds of them at once always. And they was yelling, Al Akbar, like, our God, only our God, whatever. And that is disrespectful to the original citizens of Germany who are, I mean, half of them are atheists like me, but the other half are Christians. So, and then you say, okay, you know what? That's our Christmas market here. And if you want to shout, we're so happy to be in Germany, we're so happy that we are here and got refugee status, and we're so happy to work here, and we're so happy that we're here in freedom, that's different as to shout Ali Akbar.
Well, I mean, in the video, it seems pretty aggressive. I mean, if you were being joyous about God, I don't know. They seem like a rap video, kind of.
No,
so
no, that's the thing. They are aggressive. That's the thing. It's coming now across like, look, we dominate the streets. We dominate what's going on here. And I think that's the thing where my alarm system rings, you know, because
Okay.
of course you have in the Christmas markets, you have a lot of people in Germany in the Christmas markets. but they're not organized together. They're individual people going to the Christmas market, right? Today, my wife, Natalie, was at
So what you're saying like they're going out, they're saying one thing, but the intention is like, and they're aware of this. They're aware of the
Yes.
aggressive intention. It's on purpose. Yet they can hide behind the guise of, oh, we're just praising. But in reality, this intention is to be like, as you say, don't fuck with us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not about God necessarily. It's about we are God.
Yes. We represent the only God, and all the others represent the total bullshit God, and they are not acknowledged and they have to bend over to us. That's the problem England has massively, right? Where some parts of London, whatever, they're completely Islamistic. They're completely in the hand of hundreds of thousands of Islamistic people who came in. And I think that is where in my case, where I say we cannot, if we continue this, that's the thing what I try to explain at Younger Muslim too. I said, you cannot, against the will of the majority of the population, sugarcoat what is happening, overlook all the crimes what they bring, and tell everybody who points it out is a Nazi. It's not.
Yeah.
And when the situation goes over and over and over, look, when we're coming to this time, like where, okay, no more Christmas markets, sorry, too much knife attacks. I think then the population, you cannot even be mad with the population getting that it takes a violent turn, right? That then the Germans say, okay, looks like the government is not doing anything. We burn the fucking refugee homes down. What happened before in Germany? It's not like 10 years ago, a few homes got burned and whatever. Then people getting aggressive. And I mean, I have to say, like, if I get a call like Walter and Natalie are stabbed to death at the Christmas market, I mean, then it's all bets are off. You know, then it's not anymore like, let's have a political discussion. Then people getting more and more on the side of like, kill the fuckers, all of them. They have to leave Germany or they should get killed. I mean, then you get radicalism, right? So then it gets like out of control. And I don't want that. I think like there are migrants in Germany. There should be in Germany, and we need migrants also for the workforce and everything, but not under all circumstances. And when you have very, very bad experiences, for example, in the criminal statistic in Germany, the highest rape and violent, like knife stabbing and stuff like this, rate is from Afghanistan and Syria. So when you see the other countries, Nigeria, Ghana, like more Black Africa, way less criminals. Then you go Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, right? Way less criminals. And if these guys, they do drug dealing, whatever, but they don't do this kind of violent, uncontrollable, you know, that there is this thing like where it's like, to be honest, drug dealing is always happening worldwide. The Italian mafia, the Colombian drug cartel, whatever, it's a business. But they're not going randomly and shooting people in the Christmas market or stabbing people in the Christmas market. But from Afghanistan and Syria, over proportional, this stuff happens. This kind of violent crimes randomly done against young girls, against people that are just standing on the wrong spot, you know. And I think that's where the people have the most problems with, because you cannot protect yourself. Like when you go through the inner city, guy comes from behind and steps you in the neck, you're dead. And you think like, why he did that? But that is maybe the last thing you think when you die, you know.
So you think we're in like a dog eat dog mentality where it's us or them?
No, that develops right now. You know, that develops. And I mean, in Germany, we have that government what broke apart. And now all the candidates, like in not one party from the government, there were three parties in the government, the Green, the Liberals, and the Social Democrats. All three lead party members still running now for re-elections. They didn't even exchange them, what is totally absurd. It would be like, let's say you have like Harris going again in 4 years after a catastrophic loss, right? People would say, we're not doing this. But that is what in Germany right now happens. Like they all act, and they do now ads and advertising everywhere, and they're all three acting like you should vote again because it was not so bad. Whatever, right? And the population says the whole point that the government broke apart is the liberal left the coalition. Then you didn't have a majority. Then you started fighting under yourself. Then you said, okay, re-elections in February. So now the same people who fucked it all up, the same people, not the same party, the same people, are saying, vote for me again. So, and then the AfD, the anti-migrant party, basically, they say, how long, guys, you want to be so stupid to vote these people back in? Like, you should elect us in because we will finish the migration. That we guarantee, right? We will don't let any more in. And everybody who is here, who's not working, goes home, like violently goes home. And I have to say, I sympathize with that variation. I think it's better as to keep uncontrolled getting people in, So I think if you do a crime here, you should leave Germany the next day and not like after 2 years of investigations and spending millions of dollars on a case. So
the legal system is like that. Even here in America, it's a wasteful, expensive, slow system.
Yeah, where people with money are out on a bail, or and then you have people like they are obviously guilty, but they delay everything, and that's the thing. And then a lot of times, what happens is with people, they do crimes, then they're getting probation, or they say, but we still cannot move them out of Germany because this that would be against the asylum. The UN Charter, the asylum right, because if we send them back to Afghanistan, they're getting killed, as an example, right? So, but first of all, who knows if they're getting killed? Who knows, right? When you actually look at the Taliban right now ruling Afghanistan, there are not a lot of people getting killed. I think the Taliban are actually not the worst thing whatever happened to Afghanistan. And because I'm reading regular reports, and 28 people from Germany got moved there. They were all like crime people who were removed back to Afghanistan. They're all now free. They got arrested from the Taliban, but they're all let out of jail. And they said, okay, we put you here on probation, like have a job, work. And the only difference there is if they fuck it up now, the Taliban will kill them. So
What if they fucked what up, bro?
no,
What do you mean?
They're getting if they do crimes again in Afghanistan.
Oh,
right.
But what was the crimes that they did?
No, they did crimes in Germany, rape, assault, stuff like this. And then Germany took 28 from these guys and was bringing them back to Kabul and said bye-bye, like it's enough, right? So that was the only real move from Germany, from that old government. It was the only move to remove this 28 people. That was the only move. But they could remove 50,000 people, but they did. So on this 28 people, they got at the airport directly arrested. Like the Taliban came and arrested them at the airplane. So, and then in Germany, everybody, oh, the poor people. And then the German government, I mean, they said the right thing. They said, no, they were not the poor people. They were fucking knife stabbers. So we give a shit what happens to them. So, but then they followed it up. Yeah, and they followed it up. And they actually had, they were out of jail and they're working now there. So, but the Taliban, of course, they do the merciless punishment for if you killed somebody and they get you get executed, right? So, and that is also then a reason not to do it, So, I mean, if in Kabul, if you steal, you get the hand chopped off, you maybe don't steal. So I don't want that laws for us, but the reality is that the law, like in San Francisco, where you go shoplifting and nobody stops you and nobody's doing anything about it, is also not the way to.
Well, yeah, there has to be in the middle. I mean, if you steal at the Apple Store, I'm not going to chop off your hand.
No, but you have to get stopped and booked or arrested, or you should pay a hefty fine. Or
yeah, you should get arrested. I agree. Go to jail. 100%. Go to jail for 5 years. I don't fucking care. I'm going to make a message. I agree with that. But the problem with that is the people who are innocent who get caught in that system, if they're too strict, if they're too like look at the marijuana, all the pardons that Biden did for and for marijuana. I mean, when the system is too strict, and shit like that happens. And we saw a lot of that in the 80s, because there was a crack epidemic here in the United States. I lived through it in New York when I was a kid. And you know, I just feel like the answer is in the middle, like I said.
Yes, and I totally agree, and it should be also like reasonable for everything, but you also have, as wherever you are, you have duties, and you have to accept what the law is or the rules when you are somewhere, right?
I want the law and order. I'm all about law and order, and that's what pisses me off a little bit about Trump too. I want to go really quick, just make this statement that, you know, he seems a little bit. The Republicans are about law and order. Why would they fucking? Never mind. Okay, let's not go back there. Sorry.
No, but I think you should go back in the lazy river. I have to move on here in Germany too. We're 5 p.m.
Here, you want to see something? I'll show you what the Manjaro has done really quick.
Okay.
I'll show you. Look at that.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm from before. This is really quite thin, and you can see there's a little skin there or whatever. But I'm gonna work out; it'll go away. But this is great, dude. I'm so excited because I was pretty big.
I know. That's very good. It's very healthy, and you know.
The thing with my face is that I was on prednisone for my back, so I'm a little swollen here. But anyway, what were you saying?
No, and I think if something like this medicament helps, you should still, like, at one point never take it again, and then look on the weight thing and stay on the weight. Don't let it slide again and gain 80 pounds, right? So you need to basically have this kind of the weight under control. And yes, you can go 5 pounds up, 10 pounds up, but you also should then try to get the 5 pounds back down, right?
Well, what happens is this is how it works, is that normally you take it every week. Once you get to a certain point, once you get to your like ideal weight, then you go on a maintenance mode where you only take it once a month. And that way it'll keep it in your system, very small level. So you won't, you know what I mean? But so it's a lot cheaper.
It helps that you're not getting a hunger or a rush, like, you know, like if you have like diabetes and you need the sugar. So
I'm out of the pre-diabetic range. I'm, for the first time in 15 years, I'm in a normal blood sugar long-term range because of the Manjaro. I was at a 5.9. That's just at the cusp of pre-diabetes. So I just have to eat a little bit better and lose a little more weight, and then I will be there. I think I probably just have to lose 15 more pounds, you know?
Yeah, and work out, like get, you know, like that's any push-up is good, like whatever you do, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a machine, and I went to military school, so I can still do push-ups. I could probably still do 20 push-ups for the rest of my life.
So we do one more before Christmas. We will be December 25 to January 2nd in Spain, in Gran Canaria. We need some sun too, but we can do one before.
You're going to Spain? Wow.
Yeah. AJ is coming, and we do Christmas Eve here, and then we leave the next day. We booked it already. We need some sun. It's very.
Yeah, you guys have fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm really excited to hear that you're gonna go. That's super exotic and classy. Yeah, let me know how it is, okay?
Okay, guys, follow us on everywhere, YouTube, Spotify, and we talk soon.
Right. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.